All right, let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. Actually, I wanted to talk about the entire Eastern Conference playoff picture because with the recent return of Joel Embiid and how good the Sixers look, and with the recent slide the Bucks have been on, losing 4 straight after losing to the Knicks last night, and before that they had lost to the Raptors, and before that the Bucks had lost to the Grizzlies, and before that the Bucks started their losing streak with a loss to the Washington Wizards on the road. And it has kind of made the standings topsy-turvy a little bit. But let's talk about the Bucks for a second, because I was someone who before the year picked the Bucks to be in the NBA Finals to represent the Eastern Conference, and that through the ups and downs and all of this other stuff, and really I feel like I cursed the Bucks a little bit because I dropped that Giannis video a few weeks back and then the losing streak started. But the Bucks are just unserious. Let's just start right there. They're unserious. The East is way more wide open than I would have expected going into the playoffs. As we sit here, 7 days away from the start of the play-in games, or I think it's 7 days away. But regardless, the Bucks just stink, man. There's just no other way to put it. And yes, I know, Damian Lillard missed a game or two in this 4-game losing streak. Giannis missed a game. The Bucks haven't had, their core 4 together much this year. Chris Middleton got knocked out of the game last night with mouth trauma. But even with the injuries, if you're a contender and you have a core 4 or a core 3 that's won a championship, and then you add Damian Lillard on top of that, there is no excuse to be losing 3 straight games to teams that are actively trying to lose games. And then you lose to the Knicks last night. And look, the Knicks are a good team, but if you're the Bucks and you're Giannis and you're a top 3 player in the world and you're trying to capitalize on your championship window, this losing streak just comes at the most inopportune time. Doc Rivers is docking again, loves to hear himself talk, throws his players under the bus, talks about how he's taking notes on how people act during road trips and stuff like that. Doing his usual, I could have played, a few of these guys more. I wish I had gotten them, a few more minutes together and stuff like. You're the coach. You decide the fucking rotations. And this is all deja vu from what I saw with the Sixers last year. A lack of accountability. Fake, taking accountability where, he says the blanket, it's on me, guys. But then the next game, he'll say stuff like, we just lack professionalism on the road. how about you take notes on why your team is doing so bad? And I know he took over halfway through the season because Doc will have no problem letting you know that he took over a team that was 40 games deep into the season. But this is expectation time. This is championship time. And I'm not trying to sound like a hot take sports radio host, but when you have Dame, Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Brook Lopez, you can't be losing 3 straight games to lottery teams, man. The Bucks are unserious. Most of this Eastern Conference is wide open now, except for the Celtics. The Celtics are the clear best team in the East. I would be shocked. Well, yeah, I would be shocked if the Celtics did not, make it out of the East with how they've been playing. I know there's a few flaws everybody's worried about with the Celtics, but they have the talent. It's time for them to deliver. It's just as simple as that. But with the Bucks, I don't know where the Bucks go from here. Because, like with the Cavs, the Magic are too young, plus their offense is not good for the 500th year in a row. The Knicks, losing Julius Randle, that's a big blow. Who knows how healthy OG Anunoby will really be come playoff time, because that elbow just seems to be a persistent problem, even after getting a procedure done on it. The Bucks can't even take advantage of a wide-open Eastern Conference with Giannis Antetokounmpo on the team. And they're only going to get a year older. Doc Rivers isn't going to get any better as a head coach. Yeah, for a while there, it looked like the Bucks may have found some basic stuff to, iron out, compared to the Adrian Griffin era, but it's just not working out. And this is the Bucks fans' worst nightmare. Doc Rivers comes in, and the Bucks actually have a worse record under Doc Rivers than Adrian Griffin. And then we look at the East. So with the Bucks now on this 4-game losing streak, the number 2 seed is wide open. I'm looking at the standings right now. The Magic are in 3rd. They are a game back of getting the 2 seed in the East. The 2 seed. I would not have expected this going into the year. I didn't expect this going into the year. I had the Magic fighting as a 7th, 8th seed, fighting in the play-in group. And then the Knicks, after beating the Bucks last night, they're tied record-wise with the Magic for 3rd, but they're 4th right now, but they're still a game back of the 2 seed. The Cavaliers, easy first round out. It's just obvious. It sucks because the Cavs went on this great run, before the All-Star break, while Garland and Mobley went down, but they have just not found their offensive identity. Mitchell still doesn't look 100%. And the Cavs defense, I talked about it with Evan on the Locked On Cavs episode I did a few weeks ago. I did a second one if you guys want to check that out. But their defense is just terrible the last few weeks. And then you blow a 26-point lead to the Clippers. You were up 80-59 at halftime. And then you blow this lead. And then you have to wonder if JB Bickerstaff is going to be back next year. Seems like it's heading in that direction. And then the Donovan Mitchell stuff's cropping up again. It just seems like it's bad vibes for the Cavs right now. The Pacers have been playing better lately. They have a 1-game lead for the 6th seed over the 76ers and the Miami Heat, who lost to the Pacers yesterday, while the Sixers beat the San Antonio Spurs in a crazy double overtime game. Joel Embiid is back, and obviously I am happy he's back. He has looked way more spry than I had hoped, and he just needs these games to get his ramp up done and to get at least a good chunk of his conditioning back, because he's moving great. He's making defensive recoveries from the 3-point line to the rim. And you could just tell he's winded, and that knee brace is bothering him because every time he reaches down to his knee, which does scare me a little bit, but then he pulls up on the sleeve on his knee, which, means he's pulling up the knee brace, and that's clearly bothering him. But I did not expect the jumper to be this automatic coming back. And hopefully, we realize that Tobias Harris should have a short leash in the playoffs because he hasn't played the last few games. And the ball movement is just more apparent. More players who are making more impact plays than Tobias Harris are playing more. And the Sixers are moving the ball around, taking a lot of threes, running stuff through Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. It's just great seeing a Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid dribble handoff. It's fantastic. If you're a Sixer fan, the vibes are back because the 6th seed is still in play. It is still in play if you're a Sixer fan. They have the Pistons, the Magic, which is the last tough game remaining on the schedule, and then the Brooklyn Nets. So if the Sixers sweep these last 3 games and go 3-0, while the Heat drop one of the games to, they have the Hawks, Mavericks, Raptors twice. Those are their last 4 games. And if the Heat drop a few there, especially after losing to the Sixers, a few games ago, they're probably going to be slotted into the 8th seed. And then for the Pacers, you have the Raptors coming up on Tuesday, the Cavaliers, who have been sliding, like I mentioned, coming up on Friday. And then the last game of their season, they are going up against the Hawks, who have been playing better since Trae Young went down with the injury. And no, I'm not going to do the whole, are the Hawks better without Trae Young? I don't think I want to have that discourse yet, or put that on the channel yet. But regardless, I bring that up because the Hawks are not going to be an easy win for the Pacers, especially when we have seen the numbers that the Hawks and Pacers have put up this year when they play each other. But the Sixers have a non-zero chance of getting that 6th seed. since Joel Embiid came back, the Sixers have looked like the team they looked like earlier in the season. And for that to happen this late in the season, while playoff seeding is still being fought for, that's just great for the Sixers. At the very least, if you have the 7th seed and you do end up in a play-in scenario, at least you have a home game or 2 home games. God forbid if you lose to the Heat, you'll have a home game against the winner of the 9th and 10th seed game. So the Sixers right now are in a good position. But up across the standings, except for the 1st seed, I mean, there's still kind of a non-0% chance the Sixers could fight for a 5th seed. They're 2 games back of the 5th seeded Cavaliers. But it just shows how close this East is, and really just how inferior the conference is to the Western Conference, because if we were to, let's say, put the Lakers in the Eastern Conference, they would be the 6th seed right now. They would be fighting with the Cavaliers for the 5th seed. And the Lakers right now are the 9th seed in the Western Conference play-in. But regardless, the Bucks are unserious. I can't believe the Magic are really in earshot of getting the 2 seed, like a legitimate chance of getting the 2 seed. Cleveland's crumbling at the wrong time. The Miami Heat, I know I made a video saying they won't fool me again, because the last few years I have not been as high on Miami as most, and I have been wrong on that. But maybe there's a non-0% chance that I was wrong again, because their offense just does not make any fucking sense. But look, at the end of the day, this just shows that the play-in has been a resounding success over the last few years. We've had all these interesting races that are going on right now in the East and in the Western Conference, which is just stacked. It's stupidly stacked with a bunch of good teams. But the East is still jumbled up, and we're still only 4 games away. It'll be interesting to see who finishes where, what playoff matchups we get, and will the Bucks keep sliding? Will they lose the number 2 seed? Because with the way they're playing right now, you can't pick this team to win multiple rounds in a playoff run right now.